That's us recording now, and I already said to Garbagu, look, the audio levels looks good, but if it doesn't work out, you know what? Garbagu can just shout at us in the comment section.
Okay, Megan did this. She came in and did the audio.
Yeah, it was definitely Megan. It was always Megan. That's what I can do now. Either way. So I think we're going to do this more as like a podcast per se, because I think this affects more people than most would like to admit. And also, like, honestly, I mean, like, I don't know, I do this sort of thing anyway. I think I've kind of got over it at this point, but it definitely is something that's like can be quite difficult to deal with. And I think a lot of people, let's be serious, role-playing games attract, especially war games, like all tabletop role-playing games, attract the social retardo, let's just put it nicely. So I suppose it's worth talking about. Do you want to jump into this, Sam?
Sure. So, I love this title. Help, I'm too autistic to go to my local Warhammer store, which is already, like, if that's your hurdle, bruh.
I mean, like, honestly, if you just, like, sit and talk to a lot of the people, like, you know, they're just as awkward as you are, so it's not that bad. You just kind of get used to it after a while, and, like, you get to a certain point where you just kind of embrace your sparginess, like I do. I just don't even care anymore.
If it was like a regular game store, I could like, okay, sure. But it's like, it's the Warhammer store? Like, are the red shirts like, buy more orcs, smelly boy?
Yeah, I can see that. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I've honestly never spent much time in an actual games, like in a games workshop. Sorry. There's none. Well, there is one up in Belfast, but like, you know, why would I go there whenever my local game store sells it for like 20 to 10% off? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
Or Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. So like, let's see. What's this guy suffering from? What does he have to say?
So, love me 40k. Generally normal outside of anything 40k related.
Doubt.
Absolutely
doubt that.
Yeah, if you get anxiety going to a Warhammer store, I press X to doubt. I'm just jamming that fucking button.
Yeah.
Somehow have an irrational fear and social anxiety of Warhammer stores and the people in there. Brain convinced me that anything slightly rude will get me blacklisted and banned from every Warhammer store ever. Literally shriveling in fear every time I set foot at my local Warhammer store. Need to take deep breaths outside the store for at least 10 minutes. I guess it means 10 minutes before I finally could have the courage to go inside and do Warhammer stuff. Stutters a shit ton and would nearly piss myself when I asked the manager for this month's free mini. Trembling and nearly crying when I asked to buy a new pot of non oil. After getting what I want, I just run like there's no tomorrow from the store. I picture like Chris Chan Naruto running out the store.
Oh my god, yeah, something like that.
Gotta go fast! Anyway, never played a single match in the store because I am such a pathetic pussy that I don't piss off anyone. Just generally acting like an autistic little bitch. I don't want to cause inconvenience to my manager. He's a nice guy. How can I overcome my fear?
So what I would do is, if I was him, if I was genuinely this bad, what I would do is I would, like, you know, it sounds like because he says love 40k. I'm gonna assume he's from the UK. It just sounds like the way he's writing, he sounds angry to me. So there's games workshops all over the place, especially over in England. So what my advice would be: drive for 2 hours to a different games workshop, and like, if you get on like a retard there, then you're probably gonna be okay. You know what I mean? You can afford to feel. Does that make any sense?
Well, like,
you know, do a trial run, you know?
Do the W stores have like a no-fly list? Like, this guy was too cringy, throw them back in. Like, it's not like a wall of shame. It's like a bunch of fat, greasy neckbeards. Stole towel, not allowed back inside.
I don't think, like, as far as I'm aware, Games Workshop doesn't have a database, but more than I wouldn't put it past them to have a database on their customers. You'd be
imagine like being banned because kept shouting wall while playing orcs, not allowed back inside.
I used to play with a guy that did that. I like playing with him. He was good fun though. I actually really liked him. I haven't seen him in a while. You know, it's one of those ones. Like, honestly, you know, the problem is I think it's more than just what he's letting on. He says it's only 40k related. Press X to date. I also feel like sometimes, like, you know, a lot of like, see, like when it comes to like RPG horror stories, I feel like I myself have got some blame in this. You know, because like there has been some stories where we've done where they've clearly been taken way out of proportion, and honestly, like, you know, the problem parties involved really haven't done anything to deserve half the hate. It's just nerdy, autistic, lack of self-awareness and unable to communicate very clearly what it is they want to do. So I'm at the point where I just kind of like just do whatever I'm going to do and like just don't worry about it because everyone else is too autistic to like say, James, no, stop, please stop. You know, I'm kind of just at that point. What about yourself? Do you?
This is why I make a point to talk to people at the game store whenever I can. And I know that a lot of them will react like, "Oh my gosh, a guy's talking to me." No, like they'll like brighten up. Other guys will like go, and they'll like just kind of like shuffle away. I'm like, bro, I'm like, hey, where you going? Hey, like,
it's alright. You know what I mean? I try and work with him. You do come across that quite a bit, though. I find it's quite common. You know.
But like, I remember I was playing Song of Ice and Fire, and this guy was sitting and goes, "Man, I love George R. Martin." I was like, "Oh yeah." Why? He goes, all the tits. He just walks off. And I was like, who the fuck just says that?
I appreciate that. You know what? Maybe he's onto something. You know what? Maybe he knows what he's talking about. I appreciate that to a certain extent.
Well, it's just that I was playing a female player too. She was like flabbergasted, like, I was like, they're playing, and she's playing Lannisters, and she was playing Cersei and the whole blonde family. And the guy goes, "Man, I love George R. R. Martin." I was like, "Hey, why is that?" "Oh, just the tits." He just walks off, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Come to think of it, is the game any good? I've been looking at it, and I've been kind of like hoon in hand looking at it, and I've been tempted a few times to like maybe give it a go. Is the game any good?
Oh, actually, it's quite nice. Little tangent here, I guess. We'll talk about some war games here. Song of Ice and Fire. I have Greyjoy, which are like the Vikings, which is like of course I would get that. And I have the Martells because they're all tanned warrior chicks in their army, and more or less there's a combat mechanic and the throne mechanic and the card mechanic. So it's got 3 mechanics to it. The first one's rank and flank, where you got little trays of dudes and they do stuff on the board, which is, and they have a very nice way of doing it. And then there's the throne mechanic, where you have your NCUs, your non-combat units, who go on the throne and fuck with the game board, like free attacks or bring back wounds or cause panic checks.
Actually. Oh, that's actually quite good. Yeah, no, I like that.
It is a great way to fuck with your opponent. With like, just, here's Tyrion Lannister who's going to bribe your army, and now they're fighting worse because fuck you.
That's actually a really good idea. That's a really good example of like, setting and system working in tandem together. It's not often you get that.
And then there are also your actual like your tactic cards. Your tactic cards further advance the battlefield by giving like free maneuvers or rerolls to attacks. So you're playing these command cards as you're going. Plus, it's not your turn, my turn. It's you go, I go, you go, I go, and activation. So you actually react to the battlefield as an actual general would react to the battlefield. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than like pulling off some awesome epic fucking like fuck you moves. Like, actually, I'm gonna stop you doing that. I'm gonna do this instead because the right cards came up. Or like when you have the Martells and you poison one of the other NCUs and kill them off, so they're down an entire NCU because this one girl in the Martells who's like this cute little blonde with freckles, and she's called the healer. Well, she gets out the strangler potion and kills fucking other NCUs.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know, and it's really engaging and it's fun. Like, I play a game of 40K or 9th Age, and I feel like my brain has melted. I'm like, I want to go and take a nap. I can play like 6 song games, and not, I'm like, this is great. It's kind of chew right through them.
Yeah, I always thought that. See, that's a problem I've always had. I always thought, it's like, right, I'm not a very social person anyway, so like whenever I go and play a game, by the end of the night, my head would just be melted. But I don't know if that's because the social interaction stress or the actually just playing the game and thinking too much. It's hard to work out. But look, let's work out, how can we fix this guy's issue? How can someone get over social anxieties? I think the only way to fix that is genuinely just doing it, and over time you get better and better at it. I honestly think that's the only way you can handle it for most people.
I think we need affordable hookers and sex workers that are paid by the government to literally fuck the retard out of these people. Like you can't tell me that men's minds change when they finally get their dick wet. All right, when they finally go fucking cave diving, the whole mind just goes. like, oh yes, this is how I do things. And like, it's a whole fucking hardwire reset to these people. And I swear to God, it can all be solved with like one. You find one, like, I don't know, solid 6 sex worker, pair like $100 a BJ, and just fix these people one at a time.
One at a time, doing God's work. Oh my God!
Have her wear elf ears to make it like more in depth for the fucking gamers.
I don't know. Maybe I don't. I think it does help people like unwind, I suppose, a bit, because you do. I feel like a lot of like social pressures, I think, really come back to, oh, what if they think I'm like a dickhead or whatever, you know? And that's kind of what I think he's getting at.
Yeah, a lot of pressures come from like I have to interact with the populace, and the biggest problem I think it's gotten worse, right? And I think it's because people are now like terminally online, which sounds like a channel I know.
Oh, it does actually, doesn't it? Here, you know the last video me and Megan did? Oh, it's horrible. Oh, yeah. It's by bug chasers. Absolutely the most disgusting thing.
Bug chasers?
I'll send you a link to the video. It's vile. It's bad. It's bad. Trust me, there's a reason why it's not on YouTube. I can tell you right now, someone bought it and they said, yeah, no, this could never be right on YouTube. I get it now completely. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. You know, but
this cannot get on YouTube.
Yeah, that just wouldn't fly. It would auto ban, auto blacklist everything, you know. But anyway, I yeah, as you're saying, terminally online, people are becoming more and more isolated, which is funny because, again, whenever it comes to like, we're more connected than ever before, but we're also more isolated than ever before. You know, I
think it's just the pressure, because like because you're able to access all these horrible stories about, you know, interactions in the game store, getting yelled at by Stacy in Target, and they kind of hype up all of the stuff that to go through in public. Because I know, like, I'm the more normie guy here, and Neckbeardia's got a fucking kid, so we're pretty fucking normie in terms of...
Yeah, I got asked that once. This was years ago. This was a long time ago. He goes to me, it's like, so do you have, like, friends? It's like, yeah, I've got some friends. Like, and you've got a girlfriend? It's like, yeah. And you've got, like, a job? Yeah. It's like, you're a fucking normie, man. What are you?
Just slowly with your medals, like, nope, take that one away. It's like pulling your fucking rack of like nerd medals. You got a wife, you got a kid, you boinked. You're trash.
See, this is a problem that I've got. You get like, see, whenever I deal with people, it's like IRL. It's like, yeah, James is kind of weird. So it's like, yeah, James is kind of weird. And then whenever I deal with like normie internet users, like incels, and then whenever you deal with like actual incels, like normie, you know, it's like, well, fuck me, I don't fit in anywhere.
One of us.
I think I'm just destined to be like that, though. It's one of those ones like, you know what? Not many people just are going to like it. Yeah, and you know what? That's kind of.
I've lost my place amongst my people, for I chose the vagina.
Yeah, but it's more than just that. Like, you know, I think that's across the board with anything. And I think that's one of the other big problems where the whole NPC mindset comes in. A lot of people just want to fit in, and they feel like they have to fit in because it would just be easier to fit in and not have to deal with a lot of the social issues that go with it. But like, the way I look at it is like, could you live with yourself if you had to fit in and you had to just repeat the lines after me? You have to do what I say, you have to do this, you have to do that. Not everyone fits so nicely and tightly into these little boxes, and like, you know, sometimes, you know what, you are gonna run into people and they're gonna be annoyed with you just because you're choosing not to fit in. I'm not selling people it's like, oh yeah, you need to pick an alternative lifestyle. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about just like mindset and how you get on and how you talk to people, you know. And this is something that I feel like this is the biggest problem is, as I say, we're more connected than ever before. I think it's made it people easier to go into themselves, and this is where you get a lot of furries from. I believe, like, you know, I believe right enough, right, if the internet didn't exist, I think furries would still exist, but there would be a minute fraction that no one would ever know about. I think that they would be borderline not exist, and I think that if there was a furry, they probably would think that they're the only person that is a furry. Does that make any sense? I think the internet's been able to pull these people together.
I would say for sure that furries were a very small thing. You had that one weird kid who would wear ears. You're like, that's an odd one.
That's an anime thing, Garbo. Don't try and say it's a furry thing. I know it's an anime thing.
Well, you just don't like an anime thing. You would think it would be anything until they wear a goddamn foxtail to school. They went to a fucking Ren fair. Like, oh no. You're more than a normal weird. Because there's always like a little bit of normal weird you could do every once in a while. Like a little little touch of weird, but like then it was like you're like, oh, you're that special kind of weird, ain't you? And I think a lot of stuff that could like dealing with anxiety in game stores or talking to the people. It's just you gotta practice. Like for some folks, you just gotta practice. Like me and you, we could bullshit our way and like through a concert and have no problems. Other people would like they wouldn't be able to get through the fucking door. Like I don't know if you could have like a service where like you practice like
talk to
engaging
AI.
with someone.
Should we sell this as a service? Like you got to talk to James for half an hour. You know what I mean? Got to listen to James autistic ambulance. Listen to Garbu's autistic ambulance. We'll go for that. You know, can we clone ourselves with AI? Can we make ourselves like an AI version, a chat box that people can talk to? You know, like something like get dial 999 to talk to James on the chat box. You know, I don't know.
*1 for Guardbro.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below. It helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video. Let's get on with the story. Also, and the winner of the daily giveaway is this guy. Yay! Woo! Woo!
Look, anyway, in for a chance to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, automatically entered in.
And to claim the prize, you just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Let's get back to the video.
I don't know, I think that is something that could help people. I think the biggest problem is it's just a matter of, look, all you gotta do is see if you show up and you don't smell like piss or fucking sweat, you're off to your good start. You just are, because you're going to come across at least one person that smells like sweat. Like I'm not talking like new sweat, I'm talking steel sweat, and you know what steel sweat smells like. You know, everyone, I
still don't get where that comes from. Like I don't get why,
I think it's dirty
the gamers
clothes.
Can't just bathe themselves.
I think like,
I don't get it.
I think they do wash. I think they're just wearing the same clothes day in, day out. I think that's what the issue is. I think that's what a lot of people are
not washing their bodies and their clothes every day like God intended.
You're just gonna have to, like, you know, I think if you're not doing that, you need to get on it. If you're not brushing your teeth every day, you need to get on it. Them sort of things. People, like, okay, people see when it comes to like disgust is like a very, very strong, potent emotion, and everyone can feel it. See if you come up to someone and their breath stinks to high heaven and they can smell your fucking like piss fucking off you, they're not going to want to talk.
Piss on your shoes?
Yeah, if they can smell the piss off your fucking shoes and your fucking scratty ass, you know, people aren't going to want to interact with you, and they're going to be negative towards you even if you don't say anything. You know, there's this one guy, so there's this guy, right, and so Megan never goes to the shop. I'm always sent to the shop, and the shop's only across the way from us. Like, it's not even a 5-minute walk, so I always just walk across, and it's always like stupid o'clock. She gets me to go across at like 10:30 or whatever. The shop closes at 11, and there's always this one guy there, and I think he's just lonely, so he is, but he goes in, he like reads the magazines, and he's like, I would say he's in his 50s, and he's got a hunchback, and oh my god, the smell of him is repulsive. Like, I mean, he wears this like woolly fleece sort of jumper thing, and you can smell him before you see him. He stinks to high heaven, and pretty much all the staff absolutely despise him because you can see it in their faces. You can smell him. It's so pungent.
Visible disgust.
No, there's at least a 15-foot aura around him. You know, it's really bad. But again, I think the guy's just lonely, and part of me feels like bad for him because he is just obviously quite lonely. Like, what's he doing? Just hanging about, reading magazines at like a spa. You know what I mean? Like,
what I don't get is where all this stuff come from, because, you know, back when you were kids, you were taught, hey, you brush your teeth and you wash your body and you wear clean clothes. Because a lot of
I don't know. I think there's a lot of neglect going about, though. I would say, like, there is some people that just, like, you know, the mom never looked after them. They never washed their clothes for them. You know, they just weren't really looked after very much. And, like, you know, if you don't grow up doing these basic things every day, there's a lot of people that just don't. Like, look at all the people like fucking rotten ass teeth. You know, you're just not brushing your teeth, man. There's no other excuse.
You think it'd be fucking common knowledge? Like, you think it'd be like obvious common sense
how did Jordan Peterson get as good as what he did? It's like, wash your Peters, bucko. It's like, gee, what a fucking genius, man. You know?
Wash your pee-pee, bucko.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I like Jordan Peterson, Sweaty. I think he's got like, a pretty solid message, and I think he is helping a lot more people than he's I think he's one of the very few like political pundits out there that's actually like trying to talk more about just improving your day-to-day life. He kind of fits into like the same bracket as like Andrew Tate almost, where he does like a very similar thing, but like a much more aggressive marketing style. Would that be a fair way to put Andrew Tate? I don't know. One of my friends is getting really big into him, and he's like showing me all this stuff about him. Like, I don't know. He seems alright. Like, you know, it doesn't seem the worst in the world, but like, I don't really care much for the guy, if I be honest with you. Either way. So how do we fix this? What other methods? So washing yourself daily, that'll help people interact with you, so you're not going to be viewed in such disgust automatically. That's pretty good.
Like on that subject, people got to realize, at least I guess these gamers got to realize, when people see you, you are being judged both on a visual and like basically all five senses will probe you as soon as people see you. If you want to have a better impression of when you're going to, like, you can be an absolute ugly fraud of a person, but if you smell good and look clean, your teeth aren't green with pond scum, they're gonna look at you like, oh, okay, you know, like sometimes you're just born fuck ugly. I know, I'm sorry, it happens that way. You can't help it. It doesn't mean you get to smell fuck ugly.
Bro, just be yourself. Yeah, that's very true. It is very true, though. Like, you know, you'd be dealt a horrible hand in life, but like, you know, if you just work with it, I think at least
polish that hand.
As Mythbusters did prove, you can in fact polish a turd. It is possible. You know.
Did they polish a turd?
Yeah, they did. You should Google it. They actually did polish a turd, and it actually is polished. They did a good job. Turd? It looks like, you know, the thing is, it looked like a Malteser. I'm not even joking. That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like a very shiny Malteser. I think it was cow manure, if I be honest with you. I think that's what they were using. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But yeah, so these are basic things. After that, I think just practicing talking to people. And like, you know, one of the biggest things, you know, again, I think this will go back to like, especially things like Discord. Like, you know, Discord is great because you can talk to a lot of people that have got a lot of similar mindsets and interests as you. And I talk to a lot of people online. Like, I talk to way more people online than I do in my actual life, you know, by a big margin. But at the same time, I can't say that that is a good thing per se. You know, yeah, I'm talking to someone, but you're not actually, like, a lot of time it's not over voice, it's over text, and it's not like looking at someone. I think you need to practice actually like just talking to people. You know, that
there is a lot of things that happen when you talk to someone face to face.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of I'm sure you, James, have studied social engineering. You know,
yeah, to
you actually study how people will gate. Basically, it's like every time you meet someone, you're looking at a hand of cards, and you're trying to figure out what their hand is by looking at their face, by smelling them, by looking at them, by hearing them. It's a lot of minutia that happens like rapid fire, bum, 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 when you're talking with someone face to face. It's why, in my opinion, in-person D&D groups are always far more healthy than all online D&D groups or RPG groups, because when you're looking at someone and talking to them and building that I guess you would call it a humanity with him, you'll become healthier mentally because you're looking at someone, you're seeing where their eyes are going, the small facial tics, how they smile. Now there are folks who don't understand that shit. I believe they're like the true autism out there, not just like ooh, I have a weird tic, I have autism. No, like actual autism have problems reading people. But I always break down that as saying people are like a video game, if you want to play it out that way. Like, say you're autistic, actually, that's not just ooh, I need meth. If you're actually autistic.
Yeah.
You treat people like they're a video game or a puzzle, and you figure out and you lay out the key points for all those things you'll learn, like facial tics, or like people who there's the smile, you know, hi, good to meet you. Then there's the holy shit, what are you? Please go away. Polite smile that says, I don't want to talk to you. Please leave me alone. Both are smiles, but both have their own, you know, minutia about them that kind of give you a hint that maybe I shouldn't be talking to you. My bad. I'm going to head off. Like, a lot of guys just aren't learning that because they're always online. You can't see a face. You're just typing text to a keyboard, you know. And I think that's part of the issue is that, like, this guy here probably on TG every day up to 4 hours a day, isn't talking to people.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. Like, yeah, he is talking to people, but he's not at the same time, and there's a bit of a divide there. And I think that's something that a lot of nerds do struggle with, because they make up for a lot of that social interaction that people desire, and they just fluff it out with people on the internet, and that does work for a lot of people. You know, that's the biggest issue, again, because there's very few people, I think, in my real life that are actually, like, interested in a lot of the stuff that I am interested in. So, you know, I think that's a big problem, you know. Have a hard time talking to a lot of people that I know. Like, most of my friends just don't care about war games at all. Like, they just don't care. So, like, there's no point talking to them about it.
Your fucking nerd shit, Reed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, well, I talk to them, and they think it's really interesting that I, like, you know, that I talk about it online and stuff. But, like, you know, see for the idea of actually, like, playing it or whatever, they're like, no, it's just not for us. It's really no interest at all.
Nah, James, I'm not gonna do that shit.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm just gonna say no. It's like, you know what, that's fine. There's no issue with that. There's no issue with that, you know.
Well, there are a lot of folks who, like, they don't even understand what war games are. Like I go axe throwing, like, basically every weekend. And they're like, basically, like, the you know, the normies are there. We're throwing axes. Like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do narrations and voice acting, and I do wargaming. Like, oh, what's all this shit? Like, they have no idea.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess where others would falter and start, like, panicking, I just kind of talk through it. I just think that people need to go and talk to people. Like, I don't know how you even facilitate that in a God forbid, a safe place for, like, online gamers.
Oh, you know what? Is that the issue? Do you think that's where we've got a lot of the safe space stuff from? People that actually are just so horrible at social interactions, where it's like, oh, I need a safe space. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that's it? Do you think that's definitely contributed towards this?
I mean, it's definitely not helping. Like, instead of going out and confronting these fears and learning how to deal with people, so they run to a room and hide where the mean outworlders can't get them. And I just wish there was a way that we could, like, I don't know, work through these issues and, like, break them down piece by piece. Hey, they're not mad at you. They're just wondering why you said LOL Papega out in public and confuse the shit out of them.
Yeah.
When you think about it, these people will say, "Aha! Oh, I know. This would be a funny internet word to say," and they say it. It confuses the shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And they go, and they start panicking because they said a joke that no one else gets. And they realize, oh, you guys aren't down with that. I just said something really fucking weird. You guys don't like say me and James were at a bar.
I've got an example. I've done something like this before. For
example, like say me and James are at a bar, and we see a Turkish man walk by, and James says, "Fuck." Right, like, yeah, we would know what that means. No one else would know what the fuck that even means.
Yeah, I think they would. So I'll give you an example. So I can't remember what it was. It was, so I was in a game store, and they were talking about something. So they were talking about, it was like an art style, and I said the art style was Homo Globo, and they kind of looked at me. It's like, what does that mean? I was like, oh no, don't worry about it, man.
Oh shit.
Oh, don't worry about it. I think it was like, you know, the Google art, you know, the Google, like the corporate artwork they were talking about. I don't know. It's like,
Homo Globo.
Yeah, I kind of said it. I was like, oh, you know what? Doesn't matter, man. Just doesn't matter.
It would appear I faux pod.
Yeah, it would appear my internet is leaking out all over the. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that just happens.
I'll do that too. Like, I'll do that too. But like anime shit. Like, I'll be out in public. I'll say, "Hey, don't worry, it's all Daijobu, baby," and I'll say that, and they don't fucking get it. They're like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" I said, it's all be okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this joke to these people, and they're like, what? And you can see them, like, getting mad because, like, they feel like you're making fun of them somehow.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So, like, what points can we go over? I think, honestly, the only way to get about this is just by practicing, and the only way you can practice it is by just doing. And it's going to be hard, but this was the first time he's done it. If he's only done it once, go back and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. And if you need to have breaks in between, only do it, like, maybe once a month. If it's that hard, you know, or you know what? See, if it's actually that hard to go to a games workshop, I would say, like, you need to do something easier. You know what I mean? Maybe, what can you do? Where can you go that doesn't require much social interaction? You know what I mean? Is there any other, because the problem is, wargaming is hyper social. You know what I mean? You talk to one person one-on-one for, like, a couple of hours, maybe. You know what I mean?
Like, usually, like, you usually tell folks, hey, go out and order a coffee in person. Don't go through an app or go through the drive-through, walk to the store, stand in a line, order a coffee from a person. Go to a bookstore, pick up a book, find a book you want or you like, and then go ask, or if you want to go even further, go ask an employee, hey, are there any good books you're reading right now? And kind of build that rapport and practice talking to the local populace. Like, there are things you like employees of stores are the best about this, because like, hey, do you guys have any good?
Yeah,
like, I know, but like,
yeah, go torture the Ouijas, go torture them, go torture
the Ouijas.
Yeah,
but like, hey, do you have any like, say you're at a store that's selling, I don't know, like you're at Target, and like, hey, do you have any good recommendations for X, Y, or Z? And they'll go, oh, well, sure. And they'll kind of like give you their opinion. You go, oh, well, why do you like X, Y, and Z? Or what makes X, Y, and Z better than this thing? Just practice pretending to be a human being.
Yeah,
that becomes natural.
Yeah, instead of the bro, just be yourself. You probably don't want to do that because yourself is fucking insane. So like just pretend to be
yourself's not working.
Yeah, so just like pretend to be like a normal human being for like a couple of hours a day, and I think over time you'll probably get the hang of it. Also, this is something also that I kind of want to bring up because I think it's like on topic. So this is something that I see an awful lot of, is the whole like idea of like gatekeeping and whatnot. See, like IRL, I think like the more I think about it when it comes to gatekeeping, have you ever actually sat down and spoken to someone like in person who's interested in 40k? They will not stop talking. You could literally talk, like they will talk for hours on end, and you could do the same, because if you're interested in 40k or any of this sort of stuff, you could also talk to someone for hours on end. So like the idea of gatekeeping, just I don't know, I don't think it's even possible on like in like an IRL setting.
So what's your favorite chapter? And you're talking about that's like 4 hours
so this is the thing. See, if you come across someone and they say that they play Spaceballs, do not automatically laugh at them and call them a furf. That is very important. They will not like you for that.
But I do that every time.
Don't do that, guys. That's really important. What other things should you avoid?
What do you play? I play Spaceballs. So you like fox girls, cat girls? What? Like I'll say that joke, but I'll go another angle at it. Like, fuck you, dude. It's not funny. Okay, so it's otter girls. Gotcha. Sorry. You have a bird guy. Like he's got to fucking like just give him a little ribbing.
Yeah. If you know them, I think it's a lot easier to see if you just like work on like no one's. Maybe on like the third encounter with that person, you can maybe pull that joke off. Okay, I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a really funny one.
Third encounter.
I'll tell you a really funny one. There was this guy that I used to work with, and hopeless with women, absolutely hopeless. But he was like so desperate, you know what I mean? But the thing was, he was so desperate, it like oozed out of him, because he was so desperate. It made him like so unattractive because he just seemed desperate, you know what I mean?
Please like me.
Yeah.
I need to feel a feminine touch.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like. That's the way I would explain it to, but anyway, so we asked his friend, and his friend's like, very capable, you know what I mean, let's just say. And he said,
very capable.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say he's capable. Like, if you want, he didn't want to talk to a girl, no issue, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. Like, he wouldn't like stutter up and be like, he could sit and have a chat with whoever and wouldn't bother him. But anyway, he says to him, "Oh, you know what I do? Like, that really works, and this would work. Say if you have a few drinks in you, and they've got a few drinks in you, you go to them and it's like, do you want to see what my cock looks like?" And like, that can work for some people, but that ain't gonna work for fucking. This isn't gonna work for him. Like, he's gonna get fuck. Do you want to see what my cock looks like? Here, tell me that. Yeah, that can work if you can pull it off though. If you've got the charisma to be able to pull that off, that could work. See, if you don't have it, you just don't have it, and you're gonna get like done for like sexual.
Going to jail probably.
Yeah, you're probably gonna go to jail, and you're probably gonna get done for sexual harassment if you say that joke and it doesn't work out for you. You know what I mean? That joke can only work in very specific circumstances where you've already got that feels like they're already playing like you know what I mean? You've talked to them for like a few hours.
I can picture this fresh TG dude. Do you want to see my dick?
Yeah. Also, don't say that to the game store manager. That's also important.
Walks in the red shirt. Do you want to see my dick? So this is a Wendy's. Get out.
Also, don't say that to the solid 4 out of 10 femoid. Don't say that to her either. That's going to end badly for you.
You play Eldar, huh? You want to see my dick?
Yeah. Also, like, see when it comes to it.
Jesus.
Like, I would say, like, see when it comes to like most people, like, see if you're like really this socially inept, just focus on like 1 or 2 people at a time. Like, just be like, "Hey, yeah, you're alright, yeah," and then just like spit a small talk and just like circle about and like try and start, you know what I mean? Like, and I think this is the biggest problem with 40k as well, because you have to like talk for such long periods, where I think you wouldn't really have this problem in like role playing senses, because if you want to play like a group or whatever, like let's say there's 5 other people, you can like sit at the table and you can get away with not doing that much talking for most of the session. You know what I mean? You just be very quiet in the back, and most groups have 1 or 2 people that are like that, you know, and there's no issue being like that. So I would say for him, you'd be better off.
The party butterflies, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that just happens. There's a lot of people like that. Some people like to take like more of a back seat. I would say, honestly, do that. And this is why I like role-playing games so much, though. I think role-playing games are genuinely really good for a lot of people. It gets people out. It gets people to socialize. It gets people to, you know...
bathe.
Yeah, you know, it does do a lot. And I think, like, for me personally, I think tabletop games have only been a improvement for my life, I would say. I think I've got very little negativity from it, bar people online telling me I need to die, but like, you do anything online, you're gonna get that. So like, I wouldn't get too worked up about that, you know what I mean?
Can relate.
Yeah, like, you know, that's just something that you do. Like, that's just something that's going to happen. You know what I mean? If you do anything online, you're going to have people saying like,
if you get even mildly well known, it's like, fucking traitor.
I'm going to kill you in Minecraft. It's like, okay, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Real life.
Like, you know, you're going to
kill you.
So like, I just don't worry about it. What is there anything else we can add, or do you want to wrap up, or do you want to? Is there anywhere else you can go in this? Just be yourself, bro. I'd like ask the employee.
Like,
do you want to see
trying
what the
to
dick
build
looks
an
like?
immunity treat it like trying to build an immunity to bullets. You shoot yourself with the 22 long rifle first, not a 9mm. So start small. Go order a coffee or talk to workers. Workers are bored as shit anyway.
Yeah,
as long as your breath don't stink like liquid shit and your clothes aren't covered in cum stains, they'll talk back to you. And you can kind of use that as practice. Don't touch them. Don't try and hug them. Or like, thanks, pal, and clap their shoulder. Just talk to them. Keep the 1 arm distance.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
I've got a solid idea. I think I worked out where the X cards came from. I am positive I know where the X cards come from. I am 100% sure. The reason why a lot of these like safety checklists and stuff exist at like game cons and like events and all that sort of stuff, I am 100% convinced it's because the nerds that are too handsy at like cosplayers. I'm convinced of it. What do you think? Do you think there's a...
No, Stacy. I am done hover-handing. This is hand on ass.
Yeah. Well, apparently it happens way often than not. So, I think that's where will we finish up then? Is there anything else we could do? Is there anything else we've missed? Play everything. Bro, if you're this fucked, man, you need a lot more than this. That's all I'm going to say. But washing yourself in practice is a good start. It's a good place to start, I would say.
Yeah. Go to, like, Williams-Sonoma and have them try and sell you a pan. You'll be there for an hour and a half talking to people.
Or, go to the car salesman. They love that shit. Just like,
fucking... That's expert mode, though, because, like, they'll try... Because knowing these guys are so autistic, they'll buy a fucking car.
No, don't go to the car salesman then, because you probably will end up buying a car. Don't go unless you need to buy.
Like, am I wrong?
Yeah, you know what the thing is, don't actually go to salespeople at all. I'm convinced that if a product needs a dedicated employee to get the product sold, you don't need to buy the product at all. I think it's like they're just going to try and convince you to buy it. I think most things that you're going to buy you should be able to make that decision yourself. That you don't need to have an employee.
Actually, I know the perfect way to do this, right? 'Cause I know some of you geeky fucks have plenty of money. Hire an escort. Don't fuck her. Just talk to her. All right. Like you tell her, hey, I am horrible socially. Can you please fucking help me? No, I guarantee these sex workers are like, oh fuck, greatest payday ever, and they will talk to you. They'll say, hey, I want to have sex. Help me talk to people and wash your ass, brush your teeth, and have this whatever you bring home help you. Or take to a hotel, help you talk to women or people, or go to a strip joint and say, hey, I want a lap dance, but what's your opinion on X, Y, and Z? And just talk to the stripper, she's on your fucking lap.
You know what you should really do? Talk to the escort about Mongolian battle tactics, bro. Trust me. And then after
what are your feelings on pre-Teutonic combat tactics?
And then also, you know what you should also do while you're at it? Oh, fuck, man. You should go to them and say, do you want to go see the Joker together? 2 tickets for the Joker, please. Or no, two tickets for Barbie, please.
Do you want to watch the entire Startaze web video with me, please?
Yeah, I don't know. I think practice makes perfect. Well, it's not going to be perfect. Let's be serious. You're fucked, man. You're too far behind anyway. You know, you're too far behind. You know, you're probably like at least 15 years behind a lot of people here. So you know, you got a lot of catching up to do.
That's not improving their already fragile psyche, James. You're already fucked.
Well, look, I was already fucked.
Give the boy hope, James.
Like, I'm fucked too, for God's sake, but I'm getting better at it. At least I'm trying, okay? You know? I think that's the only thing you can do. And, like, that's the problem. Like, I've got to the point where it's like, fuck it. Like, you know, people can take me to whatever way they want to. You know what I mean? I think the problem is what I get, a lot of people don't know, like, especially Americans, whenever I'm talking to Americans, a lot of the time they don't know if I'm joking or not, you know? They've got a hard time, like, working out if I'm taking the piss or whatever. But anyway, like, will we just wrap up now? Well, or
sure,
yeah,
why not?
So I hope this video helped you if you're suffering from extreme anxieties. Just practice, man. Just be yourself. Go and ask them, do you want to see what my dick looks like? Just
hire the geeky hooker. Just do it.
Oh my god! Right, hope you guys enjoyed.
Please fix me. Teach me the ways.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.